Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us by hitting that subscription button right below in red. It's free of charge. You don't pay anything for it, and it helps the channel. And also don't forget to hit the bell notifications for new uploads. I want to thank every single one of you for all your beautiful comments and your support. Thank you so much. And I would like to mention that right up top, there's 3 little buttons. You can click there to slow down the video to the speed you would like if I'm too fast for you. Also, right next to it, there's the CC, closed caption. You can turn that on and you can pause the video and take notes of everything that will be written down here on the stitch that I will be calling. In case you don't have the CC up there or the 3 little buttons on the video up top, there's 3 little buttons. You just click there on the settings and it's in there. You can slow down the video and also turn your closed caption on. The next thing I would like to mention is in the description box, everything is always listed below. There's a little arrow right, like a V, upside down, right below the video on the right side. If you click that little arrow, everything will be in the description box. So I have my Facebook page for the crochet. I also have a Facebook group, crochet, that you can join if you have a profile on your Facebook. And you can join us in the group. It's a private group. So, of course, you have to have a profile. If you don't, then unfortunately you can't, because there's too many scammers going around with the groups, and I want to make sure that we're all safe and nobody's going around scamming anybody. I see a lot of that in the groups nowadays, and I'm taking myself away from the groups due to that fact, and also the fact that there's some nastiness going on, especially coming out of administration's mouth. That's not a good thing. So I decided to create my own, inviting you to be part of it if you'd like to. What else? So I also would like to mention, if you please want to help to donate for the women in need of thread and yarn, I need your help to buy them the thread and yarn. I have my PayPal account below in the description box. You can donate whatever you feel like. Everything adds up at the end, so we can help these women to get them busy with, creating some pieces and distract their minds from the daily life stress that they might be going through. It could be a mental stress, it could be family stress, it could be mothers alone with children that cannot afford to buy these threads and yarn. So I really want to help them out, and the only way I can do it is by you and I together helping them out. So please be generous and help out. It doesn't matter the amount. And I want to thank you so much for helping. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm sure they will appreciate you too, very, very much so. So thank you again. Anything else? I hope I'm not forgetting. So normally when I'm calling out the stitch and I say chain 1 for space, and I usually say chain 1 separation, that means for space. If your stitch is too tight, then do an extra chain. So instead of doing 1, you do 2 chain. If your stitch is too loose, then do less 1 chain. Also, when your stitch is extremely tight, you should go with the hook, 1 hook size bigger than your normal that you use, because that will help to loosen up the stitch when you're going into the second row and try to put your stitches in. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. We're going to get started. Please also share, give a thumbs up on the video. It helps to circulate the video and have the channel to be recognized. Share on your Facebook public with your family and friends. Have them join us together as one big family. So thank you so much, everybody. I send much hug and love to every single one of you, and many blessings from the universe. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, everyone. So you pretty much know that a few days ago I had created the table runner and 2 oval also doilies, and the table runner was oval with this motif on it. Now I have a special request to do a tablecloth, but because I don't have thick enough yarn to make it the size that I would like the tablecloth to be, I decided to go ahead and create it anyway in a thinner thread. This is 100% cotton thread, but you can create a tablecloth the same way, same stitch. The only difference that it will be done is increasing on the centerpiece here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means you'd go until about 12, 14 rows, and then you would do 3 rows of this one here, and then of course this one, then 3 rows here, and then you would go back and do this one again, and then go back and do 3 more rows of this one again. So it's very simple, nothing to it, to create a tablecloth. And of course the end would be this. So normally a tablecloth is about 30 rows, 29 to 30 rows. So you can go the length you want. Your centerpiece, it's up to you how big you would like this centerpiece to be, and then start creating 2 or 3 rows of this motif here. So that means in between this motif, it's 3 rows of double crochets all the way around. And then you would add this one, and then you would add again 3 more rows of double crochet, and then you'd add again this one. So you can have like 3 rows of this motif on to give you more length of going around. And then at the end, you would be adding this part on. So we're going to create the doily. And like I said, you can create the table runner with it. If I had enough thicker yarn for this specific pattern to be a tablecloth, I would have done directly, because this is gorgeous. But hopefully eventually, when I do get the thicker yarn coming into the island, I most probably will create a tablecloth like this, you know, the size, the proper size for it, because I love this pattern so much, and I wouldn't mind having a tablecloth with it. But for now, it's a doily. And this doily, it could be used anywhere, or also to put on the 2 sides of your table with the oval table runner in the center. If you follow what I'm saying, at the end I will have a video and pictures taken with the oval table runner in the center and the 2 doilies on the side on top of the dining room table. So we'll give you an idea what you can do with it. You can also make a table runner by using 3 patterns like this attached, the 3 of them side by side. You can have a nice table runner in round instead of oval. Okay, so we're going to get started. So I'm going to use 100% 4-ply cotton thread, and I have the cream also, and of course the green, and I think that pretty much does it. Now, because the stores here, they ran out of the 4-ply for the cream, I have 2 number 6s, which I am going to double it up together, which I split already. I'm going to put 2 together, and that will become my 4, so I can have the same size as this one to put side by side on the table. So we're going to get started, everyone. Hook 3, small one to tuck in loose ends, and a pair of scissors. Let's get started, everyone. Thank you. Remembering, when you're doing with thicker yarn thread, automatically when you're doing that centerpiece, it becomes way bigger. Okay, see if I can cut down a little bit of the lighting here, because I don't want it to white out too much. This light is a little bit weird. Don't want it too dark, but I don't want it too light either. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is slip stitch a knot, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 4. Slip stitch knot to close it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come in and do 8 double crochets with 2 chain separation, and double crochet between them, and this will be row 1. Trying to hide my little leftover thread here. So row 1, 8 double crochet separated by 2 chain. Coming into the end, I'm going to go into the 3rd chain, close it in with slip stitch. I'm going to come into the center with a single, chain 2. I'm going to create groups of 2 double crochet with 2 chain separation per space. This is very easy and very fast to create, which I will post here as I'm going, the oval table runner. For some of you that don't know it or haven't seen it yet, it will give you an idea. Okay, so we're going to continue on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't understand this. How come on that one I came up with 9 groups of 2 double crochet? One I did only 8. I must have went over twice, or maybe I just misunderstood. I think I'm going to do 9. So we're going to do 9 just to make sure, because then I don't want it to be an issue. So I'm just going to put it here and another one, just to make sure that there's, I don't want it to be a difference in the pattern. But if you want, you can start off, instead of doing 8 double crochets here at the beginning, you can do 9. If not, you can just proceed the way I'm doing it now, because I don't want it to be any different than the one I created. So we'll just stick to whatever was made. Please always look ahead of the video. Sometimes mistakes can be done and we can fix it on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9. We're going to go over 2. Let me just check. No, we're going to do 1, 2 chain for me, 3 for some of you, depending upon your stitch. Next space, we're going to do double crochet. And then we're going to do 3 double crochet inside of the space here, row 3, and then 1 on top of double crochet. So I'll go ahead, continue yours until the end, and I'll meet you at the end. So going into row 4, I'm going up 2 chain, but for some of you it could be 3 chain, depending upon the tension of your stitch. 1 double crochet next space, and double crochet next space again. Chain 2 again. We're going to skip 1 into the next one. So now this time we're going to be creating groups of 3 double crochet, 1 per space. Chain 2 again, skip 1 into the next one, and create your 3 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end. So I have 11 groups of 3. Going up, chain 2 for me, chain 3 for some of you, double crochet over double crochet, row 5, and now I'm coming in with just 3 double crochets again in the space, and 1 on top of each double crochet. So you're going to proceed row 5 again the same way all the way around. We're going to close it on the third or second place for some of you, and then we'll go up again, chain 1, chain 2 or chain 3. Okay, going into row 6 again, chain 2 for me, chain 3 for some of you. So this time, if you realize we start with 1 double crochet, then we have 2, then we have 3, now we're going to have 4. Okay, so groups of 4, and this is how you're going to create also your tablecloth. You keep going the length, remembering that it's going to get to a point where we don't need to increase any, because we are already doing it each time we're coming in and putting it in the spaces. Okay, so now we have 4. 1, 2, I'm going to do 3, and I'm going to continue to skip 1 and into the next one. Now, of course, depending upon your tension of your stitch, if your stitch is extremely tight, that you know that you have to increase the chain stitch. So I'm going to do 3, 1, skip 1 and into the next one, and I'm going to continue to create my groups of 4. This is row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll meet you at the end. Now, if you realize coming to the end and it were to skip 1 space, we'd have to come here. So that leaves us 2. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything in our book. Still do our 3 chain, and we'll still close it up here on the last one. Now, next row again. 1, 2, 1 into the next space, and we're going to be adding the 3 double crochets in the empty little squares, same thing as we've been doing. So this is row 7. I'm going to put 3 double crochets in here and proceed the same way, and 1 double crochet on top of the double crochets. And again, we'll repeat the double crochets, 3 inside of the space, and we continue on like that. I'll meet you. We're going to close here at slip stitch, and I'm going to go up 2 chain for some of you, 3. I'll meet you on row 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll meet you on row 8. So I finished row 7. I'm on row 8. I went up my 2 chains and started to do already my first group, so double crochet. So we have 4 here. We're going to do 5. So we're going to have groups of 5 double crochet, 1 per space, 4, and 5. I'm going to do 2 chain. I was doing 3 chain, but I think I'm okay with 2 because we're skipping only 1 space. But for some of you that your chain is too tight, you might as well do your 3. Okay, so I'm going to continue on creating my 5 groups of double crochet by skipping 1 space. So 2 chains, skip 1, and into the next one. And it's okay time to time when you alternate the chain on rows, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes when we keep doing 2, 2, 2, it becomes too crumpled up. So in order to give it a nice stretch and it becomes flat, as you saw earlier, was starting to fold a bit. That means that the stitch is too tight. So here on this one I did chain 3, but now I'm going back to chain 2. It's just going to bring it all together now. So you can alternate your chain stitch just to balance out the pattern. That's just a little technique sometimes that we use when it's too tight. When it's pulling, we give an extra chain stitch, and when it's too loose, we cut down on the chain stitch just to bring the pattern together. Okay, so I'm doing my 2 chain, skip 1 space, and then to the next. Continue to create your 5 group. My hands are stretched out because of filming, so I keep sliding out of the hook. And 1 more. Okay, so we have, of the orange, we have 1 more row, which is the complete row like this, all double crochets on row 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Row 9 will be all double crochets all the way around. I'll meet you at row 9. Okay, you guys, I'm almost at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, row 8. Now, if we skip only 1, again, this time we'll be having 2 extra over here. So I don't want to throw it off balance. So what do we do in this case? And this is good for you to learn for any pattern, for that matter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 little spaces here of these squares. Instead of skipping 1 only, I'm going to skip 2. And you can't tell the difference. And I'm going to continue to do my 5 group. And this way, we have 2 there and 2 there, because you're supposed to end up with 15 groups of 5 double crochet. Okay. 2 chain, and I'm coming in and closing in with slip stitch. Now, even if it bends a bit like this, it doesn't matter, because the next row it's all double crochet. It's all going to be back flat to normal. So 2 chain going up, next space, double crochet. This is row 9, double crochet, 1 per space, 3 inside of the space here, and we continue on. Now, for the people that will be doing the tablecloth, you can continue on increasing your groups. So now we have 5 here. So you continue to do your double crochets, and then row 10, you would do your 6 groups of double crochet. And you can go the length that you think you pretty much covered, let's say, the up top of the table with this motif. And then what starts at the edge to fall in from the table, that's when you go in, or just a little bit before it falls. That's when you go in with the off-white here. Or you can just alternate colors if you want to use different colors for your center. You can use 2 colors, 3 colors. It's all up to you. Let's say, example, you can use colors in groups and then use base color on the double crochets. Okay, so I'm cutting my thread after this, and I'll be back to you. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're going to go to row 10 with the cream. So I'll come back to you on row 10. Okay, so I'm coming into row 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this row 10 and 11 are exactly the same thing. It's just double crochet over double crochet. Now I have to use 2, so I put 2 threads together to make a size 4 ply, so I can have the same thing as my other one there. And sometimes you might have thread or yarn that you want to do something thicker and you don't have the thread for it. Well, here's an idea. You can add 2 or 3 yarns threads together to make it thick. Okay, so we are going to do 1 double crochet per space. Row 10 and 11 will be exactly the same thing. So I'll meet you at the end of row 11 because it's just double crochet over double crochet on these both rows. Okay, so this is 10, row 10, double crochet over double crochet, go up, chain 2 or 3, and then again double crochet over double crochet. I'll meet you at the end of row 11. Okay everyone, so I finished row 11, which is row 10 and 11 is the exact same thing, just double crochet over double crochet, going into row 12. Now row 12 we're going to start to do those cute beautiful motifs. So 1, 2 and 3 chain in the same space, another double crochet in the same space again, another double crochet. So now we have, let me just check something here, make sure I did everything on the same space, if I can remember, recall it. No, okay, so 2 double crochet on the same space and 1 double crochet in the next space. Now we're going to do the diagonal double crochet. So we're going to come back on the empty space just before the 3 chain we went up, and we're going to do a sideways diagonal double crochet. So give it a good stretch on your strings here. I'm going to do 1, 2 chain separation for space, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space. Again, 2 double crochet on the same space and 1 double crochet on the next space, and we're going to repeat doing the diagonal double crochet. Give it a nice stretch, and there you have it. Chain 2, and again 1, 2, 3 on the 4th space, double crochet again on the same space, and 1 right after. So we're going to have groups of 3. And 1 diagonal. So we're grabbing this empty space here just before the first double crochet, give it a good stretch, and we do a diagonal double crochet. We're going to do this all the way around, coming to the end after we do the 2 chain space. We're closing it in with slip stitch on the third chain here that we went up. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 12. So I'm almost done row 12, and just to confirm, I have 24 little groups of double crochet. So I did my 2 chain, coming into 3rd space, and slip stitch. Now this row is going to be very easy also. Chain 2 or 3 for some of you. This is the same thing as double crochet. We're going to do 1 per space, and I'm coming in the middle. We have that 2 chain separation, so I'm doing 1 per space. You can do over the chain if you'd like. I think it just looks nicer this way, so I prefer to do it this way. So row 13, very simple, just double crochet over double crochet. Now reminder, for people that are doing tablecloths, you can increase 3 or 4 rows of the double crochets here, and then do your motive, and then again 3 or 4 rows of double crochets here, so you can get length. But I strongly suggest that when you're doing this centerpiece here, do at least 19, 20 rows, okay? And then the rest is peanuts, okay? Because then you can measure the centerpiece if it's already around your table, because everybody has different size of tables. Could be bigger, could be smaller, 4 chair, 6 chair, you know, the round ones. Could even be just a little corner coffee table or little decoration, little round table near a window, near in the hallway. I mean, I don't know, you know, so go with the flow. Measure here the size on top of the table, and then continue to increase. So for the length that you want it to be hanging on the side. So it's very simple, nothing to it. Okay, so we'll continue to do this way. So we have this row, row 13 and 14 will be exactly the same thing. We will be doing double crochet over double crochet, row 13 and 14. There is no increase, it's just double crochet over double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. So we finished row 13, going to 14 will be the same thing, 2 chains or 3 for some of you, depending on your tension. Double crochet over double crochet, and there's not much more to that. Very simple. So I'm going to continue my row 14 and then meet you at the end. Okay. Okay, everyone, going into row 15. Very simple. So we're going to do 1 chain, come back on the same space, and do a single. So we have our first single. Next space right after, another single. So this row is going to be only singles all the way around. So very simple. We're getting it prepared to next row start creating sort of leaves, if you want to call it, for the flower. So just single crochet over each double crochet. Okay, row 15. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I'm almost at the end. Now, because the next row we need to be doing a single on every 7th space, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been counting my singles by 7s, okay? So I started with 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know I have my motive there, my space there that I need to go into in my next row. So I counted again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did that count, 7, 7, 7, 7. Now I come to the end. I'm already at my 7th. You don't have to do this, but it's better if you do. If you're missing a few, then you can add on. So I have 4 spaces left, so that means I'm going to be missing 3. So I'm going to come in and do an extra one on the same space here. Next space, I'm going to do 2 more. So that's 3, 4, 5, and my last one, 6 and 7. Just so I don't have it showing too much of the increase on one after the other. Okay, like this I will have my 7 singles per group, 7, 7, 7. Okay, so going into row 16, I'm going to do 1 chain again, and come back into the same space with a single, next space, single, and next space, a single. So now I have 3 singles. I'm going to do chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my 7th. That's why I've counted them by 7ths, okay? Because we need to do these chain and close in with a single on the 7th one. And then do 3, 1, 2, and 3. 3 singles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it makes sense to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my 7th. Now, because we're doing the 3 chains, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fall directly with the right amount, but at least I know that I'm close enough if I'm not exactly on the 7th one. Okay, so 3 again, singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my 7th one. So we're going to continue to do that. I'll meet you at the end and see if it's missing, and if it is, then we'll just take out the chain and add more into where we have the 3 chain, 3 single. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so I'm almost at the end, and I've noticed at the end that if I didn't skip one, on my last one I did 2, skipped a space and went into the next one, I would have had 1 extra. So I skipped 1 space, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th is there. So not too bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 chain, and I'm coming into my first single here and close it up. Okay, so I'm going into row 17. I'm going to do, actually I'm going to go right over to the next one and do a single. No, sorry, never mind. Okay, I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to walk, I call it the walk, through it until my first chain, do a single, and I'm going to do 2 chains. So that would equal a double crochet. I'm going to do 6 more in here. We're going to have a total of 7 double crochet. So we're going to build 2 groups of 7 double crochet inside of this space, separated by 1 chain for space. 2, 4, 6, 1 more, 7, 1 chain, and 7 more double crochets, all in the same space. So we'll have a total of 14 double crochets, separated space, 1 chain. So I have 2, 4, 6, 1 more. So now I have my 14 inside of here. Now we have the middle single, and right below we have the other single here. I'm going to come sideways and do a front single post, okay, and then back into the chain and create my 7 double crochets, and then 1 chain, and then 7 double crochet, exactly like we did here. So it's just a repeat of the same thing. Seven, 1 chain, and 7 more double crochets. we have our 7 double crochets. Again, I'm going to come underneath here where we have the middle single, and right below we have that single. So I'm going to just grab my sideways and do a front post single and repeat again the same thing. This will be repeatedly the same way all the way around. I'm going to continue to do mine, and then I'm cutting my thread, and we're coming in with the green to create our leaves for the flowers. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. I'm going to go right underneath where I have my single and do front post single, and then come into my third space here and slip stitch, and I cut my thread. Now, due to the fact that I'm using 2 threads at the same time, and because it's thread, it pulls a lot. So if you look at it, it looks like it's turning into a hat, but not necessarily. Once you stretch a bit and then you press a bit, for the people that sometimes have to use 2 threads, so just stretch a bit, and once we iron it, it becomes nice and flat after. Okay, so now I'm just going to tuck in my loose end, make a few knots, make sure that none of this is going to come apart. So I'm going to pull 1 string, and I'm going to make a few knots here. We don't want nothing to be coming apart. I'm going to give it a good 3 knots to make sure. And then I'm just going to pull through the loops back here to hide the rest of my thread. And I'm kind of come in with my green for my leaves. I'm just going to stretch it out a bit because it's 100% cotton thread, so it stays stiff a bit, especially if you're using 2 threads, right? Okay, so I'm coming in with my green. This is row 18. Okay, so where we have the front post, right behind it we have the chain that we did the single. I'm going to do a single, try to hide my thread, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain. I'm going to come back into the same space and create a double crochet. So I'm going to have a V, so 3 for double crochet, or single 2 chain for double crochet, and 3 for to create the V. Okay, so now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just check here to make sure. Five. I'm going to come in the center where we have that 1 chain separation between the 2 groups, and I'm going to do a single, okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If your stitch is too tight, then you can do 6. So back here again, we can see that single in the middle, in front of the post. I'm going to create a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and back down and create a double crochet. So I have my a V, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain, come back into the center where we have that 1 chain separation from behind, and in with a single. Okay, so we're creating these little V's to create our leaves in here afterwards, which is done. 2 picots, not picots, 2 poof stitches, but with double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so closing out row 18, so I did my 5 chain. I'm coming in where I have my 2 chain here after the single and closing in with slip stitch. Row 19, I'm going to come in the V with a single, 2 chain. This is equal double crochet. I'm going to do 4 more double crochets, 3 and 4, oops, and 5. I'm going to have a total of 5, including with the 3 chain we went up. Coming into the first one, we're doing picot, 3 chain, come back into the same space and create your 5 double crochets. This is going to be repeatedly on the V's all the way around. Come back in your first one, close it, slip stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 chain. Coming into the next V and repeat the same thing. 5 double crochets, come into your first one, close it in, slip stitch, and 3 chain, and repeat again the poof with double crochets, because I don't know if there's another name for this poof. Come back in. So I know poof, usually you do it differently, but I have no clue what's the name for this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And come back into the V and do your 5 double crochets. Okay, so we're going to repeat this all the way around until we come to the last one, and we're going to close it in right here on our first chain that we closed the poof in. Okay, everyone, so we're going to close row 19 out right on the first one here with a slip stitch. I'm going to cut my thread, and I'm going to come in with my orange to do my flowers. So just come through the back here, and I'm going to make 1, 2 knots about, just to make sure that nothing comes out of place. And then just pass the leftover thread through the loops back here. Okay, so now we're going to come in with the orange. So this will be row 20. This is similar to the previous row. We're doing the popcorns the same way. Single, 2 chain, and we're going to do 4 more double crochets. So this stays the same to create that flower effect. So we're going to have 5 total of double crochet. I'm in the first one, and we're going to close it up. Chain 3, and again 5 double crochets, and close it up. So now we're going to do chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come in where we have the single here and do a single. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come in between the two popcorn and create our popcorns again. So very simple. And then we just have one more row left and we're done. Three chain and create your popcorn again. 5 double crochets. Come on the first double crochet and close it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where we have the single, we're going to close it with a single. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And create your popcorns again. Chain 3. Okay, so we're going to repeat this all the way around. Okay, you guys, last row 21. Very simple. Come in the middle of your poof, single, 2 chain. This will equal a double crochet. We're going to create 6 more in here. We're going to have a total of 7 double crochets in the center. So we have 7 double crochets. I'm going to come here where we closed off the poof and doing front post with single, okay, and then down the chain 7 double crochets so we can complete our flower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to come where we have that 1 chain separation here. I'm going to come behind. You can go directly in the single here if you want to close it off, but I'm going to come behind on the side, and I'm going to do again a single front post like that, okay, and then again inside of the chain going up 7 double crochets. So we're going to repeat this way all the way around. We're pretty much done with this doily. I'm going to iron it, stretch it out because it's pretty stiff from the 2 threads that I'm using. Obviously makes a big difference, becomes a little bit thicker than the normal 4-ply. 2, 4, 6, 7, and this way we're going to do coming sideways on this popcorn here and doing a single, and then coming in the center in between the popcorns and do your 7 double crochet. Then it's just going to be a repeat all the way around. I will have it in display at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This was really pleasurable to create. 6 and 7, and then again we're going to do the side one here like that and do a single, and then now 7 double crochets coming down. We're going to grab it here. We're going to come from the back inside here like that and close it with a single, exactly like we did here. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care of each other and especially yourself. Until next time, bye-bye.